Hey everybody, so today I want to talk a little bit about the whole Trump-Russia Michael Flynn story. So the media wants you to believe that this whole Michael Flynn story is further evidence of Trump-Russia collusion, when it in fact actually proves the exact opposite. So basically the first thing I want to talk about is how, basically everyone already knows that Michael Flynn has pled guilty. He pled guilty to lying to the FBI. About his talks with the Russian ambassador and other Russian officials. So everyone already knows that part. But the part that's just come out of the media that everyone's going crazy over, well, there's a couple of things. The first one being that apparently after the Obama administration in December of 2016 announced that they were going to impose these warmongering sanctions against Russia for the alleged interference in the 2016 presidential election, which, by the way, was not external, it was internal fraud in the 2016 election. And the 2016 election, the Democratic primaries in the 2016 election, that was internal fraud as well. So keep that in mind. So after the Obama administration announced that they were going to be imposing these warmongering sanctions, which, by the way, only hurt the most vulnerable people in society. They don't hurt the ultra rich. They only hurt the most vulnerable people in a society. So we should all be opposing that. After that happened, Michael Flynn reached out to the Russian ambassador and basically said, "Hey, don't overreact to these sanctions." So why would he have to do that if the Trump administration was just some big Russian puppet? Why would he have to go and convince Russia on anything? If Russia just got their puppet in, why would they be overreacting in the first place? So again, this is poking holes in this whole Trump-Russia nonsense. So basically, the second thing is the whole Benjamin Netanyahu, the colonizer-in-chief of Israel and the prime minister, reached out to the Trump team, the Trump transition team, and asked them to lobby other members of the UN Security Council against this UN resolution on Israeli settlement policy. So the Israeli settlement policy, that is, Israel going into these Palestinian areas and saying, "Hey, Palestinians, I know that you've been here for quite a while, but we're gonna have to ask you to leave because we're colonizing the area. So bye-bye." That is the Israeli settlement policy. So there was this anti-Israel UN resolution that was going on. So Benjamin Netanyahu was like, "Hey, can you guys lobby these other UN Security Council members against this?" So who jumped up but Jared Kushner and Michael Flynn to this mission? Jared Kushner being the most horrible Zionist in the Trump administration. He asked Michael Flynn to basically call the other members of the UN Security Council and convince them to vote against this anti-Israel resolution. And this was all members of the UN Security Council, not just Russia. So why would Michael Flynn have to do that, reach out to Russia about this and convince them on something, if the Trump administration is just one big Russian puppet? Why would Michael Flynn have to do that in the first place? Again, this is just poking holes in the whole Trump-Russia collusion narrative. And now the third thing is that apparently Trump asked Michael Flynn to coordinate with the Russians to talk about, defeating ISIS in Syria. So this has been a long thing with the Trump administration, how Donald Trump, long before the election, talked about joining forces with Russia against ISIS in Syria. This is a long thing that they've been talking about. So, and the funniest part is that that's not even what we're doing right now. We're not helping Bashar al-Assad. We're not helping the Russians in Syria. We're actively opposing them, and we're actually supporting ISIS in Syria. So the funniest part is that even though people are up in arms about that, that never even came to fruition. And right now we are actually opposing Russia and opposing Bashar al-Assad and supporting ISIS in Syria. So the funniest part of it all is that that's not even happening right now. And as the National Security Advisor, wouldn't that be his place to set up, and to coordinate with the Russians on that? So there's no there to that story at all. But basically, the big takeaway from this is that we have to resist this stupid resistance in the media. Resist the resistance and stay true to the facts. Stay true to the facts and don't buy into all the corporate warmongering BS. So anyways, that's all I had to say today, and I'll see you in the next video. Talk to you later.